All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Los Angeles Lakers Daily, where we post daily Lakers content. If that's something that interests you and you guys enjoy this video, be sure to hit the like button, hit that sub button. We have a really interesting trade here regarding D'Angelo Russell coming back to the Lake Show. He hasn't been on the Lakers since 2016-2017 season, where he was drafted to the Lakers, played the first 2 years of his career. Now, before I made this video, I'm looking up D'Angelo Russell, and this guy's a walking bucket. Like, he's literally a walking bucket. Career 36% three-point shooter. This year, he is flying so under the radar. He's averaging 19 points per game, a career high 7.2 assists, 3.5 rebounds, almost a steal per game. I guess maybe because he's shooting like 42% from the field, which is, that's his career average. Maybe that's why he's not talked about. I would say it's probably because he's in Minnesota. Like, he's had such an interesting career. he goes to Brooklyn after the Lakers, gets traded to Brooklyn, and he actually gets an all-star bid there. It goes like 21-7 when he was only 22 years old, and then he gets traded again, goes to Golden State, where he literally averages 24 points per game, and then eventually finds his way onto the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I think really, he just hasn't been healthy. He just hasn't really played a full season for Minnesota, except for this year. Now, here's the contingency. Well, first off, let's get through the trade. So in this trade, the Lakers received D'Angelo Russell and Taurean Prince, who's just a nice defensive, pretty solid two-way player. And Minnesota receives Russell Westbrook, Malik Monk, Stanley Johnson, a 2027 first-round pick via the Lakers. I have a hard time believing this trade would ever go through because, to my knowledge, Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell wanted to play together. These two guys wanted to play together. They're great friends, best friends, and they made this happen. Or I think actually Cat was the one who made this happen. Got D'Angelo to Minnesota. What's weird about this trade is I just don't see this as happening because let's say Karl Anthony Towns is like, all right, I'm out of here. Sorry, D-Lo. Sorry, Minnesota. I'm not wasting away my prime. Get me out of Minnesota. Well, the thing about that is, if he wants out, Minnesota, I guess they still have Anthony Edwards, but I have a hard time believing that they would, not go into a rebuild phase if they were to trade away Cat. And that's the only way I see them trading away any of these players anytime soon, is if something if just the team didn't work out, if they give it a year or two and it just isn't working out and Cat's all right, trade me, or D-Lo's trade me. Well, it's all right, cool. That's very unlikely, first off, obviously, but most importantly, why would you trade for Russell Westbrook? The only teams that are going to trade for Russell Westbrook are borderline teams like Washington, teams where you're willing to give Russ just the ball. Let him do his thing. He's a former MVP. He's getting up there in age. So, in this trade, if Cat's not the one asking for a trade, it'd have to be D'Angelo, and it's well, he's playing really good. He's entering the prime. He literally just turned 26 3 weeks ago. He turned 26. It's just, this is such a crazy trade idea to happen in the offseason. But if it were to actually go down, the Lakers would be golden. You would be absolutely golden. You have D'Angelo Russell, you have LeBron James, and you have Anthony Davis. And from there on out, you can kind of fill in the gaps. Maybe you still have Melo. You are losing Malik Monk. I would probably trade away Talen Horton-Tucker immediately just because, at that point, he's really one of your only assets. Him and Kendrick Nunn, I guess, are really your only tradable assets. Maybe Austin Reeves, if he kind of breaks out at the end of the season here. Maybe the Lakers shut down all their stars and you get a lot more run from THT Austin Reeves, get their trade value up. But Lakers would have to be smart. They'd have to figure something out. I wouldn't bring back any of the veterans if this were to go down. So what would happen is you would just essentially fill in the holes with guys like Malik Monk. Obviously Malik Monk's about to get paid here, and in this proposed trade, he's going to Minnesota. But guys like that, Like guys who have been in the league for a couple of years, so they're not like rookies. They're not in their second year. They have that experience, but they're also on cheap contracts, which Malik Monk was on this last year. As you know, as you can see, they have him for a veterans minimum, which it's like almost like disrespectful to Malik Monk now. I mean, this is like a 40% three-point shooter. This guy's averaging double digits, 13 points per game for the Lakers. Like, he's about to get back. That's it for today. Hit the like button, hit that sub button for daily Lakers content, and let me know if you think this trade would ever happen. Let's assume this trade were to actually have some plausible, like if this was actually plausible, go ahead, comment down below. Do you like this trade, or would you look elsewhere?